I'd just like to take a moment for each of you to just take a moment and just bring inside of your consciousness, your spirit, why you're here, why we're doing this. Our mission is all aligned for one purpose. It is to free the sentient animals on this planet and to free the farmers and ranchers that are trapped in a lifestyle that they do not know how to get out of. You know, I'm a former Texas cattle rancher, and my husband is a multi-generational cattle rancher. His family had slaughterhouses in Houston and in Alvin. And when I married my husband the second time, I had no idea I was going to go vegan on a cattle ranch. What happened was there was a baby calf named Rowdy Girl that showed me through her being that animals are friends and family, all of them, dogs, cats, chickens, roosters, insects. I was shown through Rowdy Girl that all living beings are here with us and not for us to use, to commodify, to trample on. And when I started having this awakening on the cattle ranch in Texas, it was as if I was in another world. It was as if I was on the cattle ranch, but in another world where life mattered, where it was revered, where there was reverence, true reverence for their life. When I would bottle feed Rowdy Girl, she would feed me. I would bottle feed her as a cattle rancher, and I would be given eyes to see all the beings in the pasture, all the cows. I could see who they were. I began to name them one by one, and the next thing you know, my husband is saying, Renee, you better stop naming them cows. And I said, well, why? They're giving me their names. It was as if when I was there bottle feeding Rowdy Girl, they were telling me who they were. I said, what do you mean, stop naming them? He said, well, if you give them a name, you can't eat them, and you can't sell them. They become someone. See, that's the issue, is don't eat the homies, right? Yeah, I like that. Yeah, don't eat the homies. They're all homies. All of the farm animals especially are so brutalized. They are so unbelievably tortured. Every day in Lockhart, our sanctuary is in Welder, Texas. We're a 501c3 nonprofit. If you haven't been, please come visit. Please come volunteer, be part of our culture. But every day that I'm on those roads, I see a trailer full of terrified, sentient beings going to a sale barn, going to be bought and sold. They've just been ripped from their families. And it's as if I'm the only one on the road that can see them. Everybody else is living their life, yet I see them. So I document it. Every time I see it, I pull out my phone, I document it, and I put it on my Instagram. Why? Because I may not be able to go to a pig vigil in LA, but in Lockhart, Texas, the barbecue capital of the freaking country, I can document that those animals in that trailer are not barbecue. Oh God, no. They were not born on this planet to be food for humans. That is a mistake. That is an egregious, lie that we've been told. I really do believe that the evil forces of this world, whatever they are, has somehow seduced us, good Christian people, okay? Good people that have spiritual beliefs, whether you're Christian, whether you're Buddha, whether you're Hindu, doesn't matter what. But I believe that we've been seduced to believe that we can eat this animal and love this animal. that we can truly have a pet beside us and eat a chicken. That's an evil seduction, in my view. From where I sit now as a former cattle rancher, I do believe that. And on Vegan Earth Day, I'm so proud that Earth Day is happening. Serena and Chelsea have done an amazing thing here. I've watched it all over the world come to life. Vegan Earth Day, not just Earth Day, because people are celebrating Earth Day and eating crawfish. People are celebrating Earth Day and, eating a hamburger made of chopped up cow flesh. I'll never forget the moment I saw in a bowl of beef stew, I saw chopped up dead animals. I saw what was supposed to be a family dinner became my moment of awakening. For several years on the cattle ranch, I had become more and more affected by the fact that we were sending baby calves to the sale barn. I began to challenge my husband more and more. It took me 5 years to go through the veil. There is a veil inside of us that we dare not go through. Because if we go through that veil, we will realize that all these animals are just like us. We all have that veil inside of us. Every one of us are on the other side of it. And we get close. We may push through. And we may poke our head in. And we'll see it, and then we'll run back. I did that for 5 years. 5 years I ran back because I'm married to a cattle rancher in Texas. You don't go vegan on a cattle ranch. Who does that? Well, I finally did. And I changed my whole husband's world upside down. Upside down. My husband did not know what was going on. And I told him there would be no more food, animal products in our home. No more. I went to his mother-in-law's house on October 31st, 2014, his mother's house, my mother-in-law's house. And they were serving beef stew, and I had just seen that little documentary by Dr. Melanie Joy, about the beef stew, right? They're all eating beef stew, and the next thing you know, she says, somebody says, what's in it? And she says, it's, a baby golden retriever. And I was like, OMG. I could be eating a chopped up baby puppy in a bowl, and I wouldn't even know it. I thought that. I'm a cattle rancher. I've been watching slaughterhouse videos for years trying to make sense of what we were doing on a cattle ranch. And then that day, I went to my mother-in-law's house like an hour after I saw that documentary. And I walk into a family full of activity, and my mother-in-law comes out with a big old pot of what? Beef stew. My mother-in-law, an hour later, and I was like, my ears started ringing. Everything started like vibrating, and I was just like, I can't eat that. And my mother-in-law said, why not, Renee? I said, because it's got floating, dead, hacked up animals in it. And I can't eat that. And I meant it. Everybody got quiet. Everybody looked at me as if I had cussed my mother-in-law out. All I said was there's chopped up dead animals in a bowl, and it was as if I had cussed out my mother-in-law. Why? Because, see, we're not supposed to see chopped up dead animals in a bowl. We're supposed to see beef stew. Really? Well, what is it? It really is chopped up dead animals in a bowl. When I laid that on the carpet, my entire family looked at me like, oh my God, And I was like, what? And then they asked me again, what did you just say? And I repeated myself. Chopped up dead animals in a bowl. And my mother-in-law put her hands on her hips. And she said, well, Renee, you can pick it out. And I said, nope, there's no more picking it out for me. At that moment, I went through the veil. I was talking about that veil, right? I went through that veil, it slammed shut, and I ain't never gone back. I ain't never gone back. And Thank you. And from then on, I became my husband's worst nightmare and his greatest dream. Okay? Because before he went vegan, I called him a murderer every day. I wouldn't live with him during the day. I went and hung out with the cows. I walked with the cows. I lived with the cows. I laid down with the cows. I took my guitar out there and played music to the cows. I did what they did, and I became a part of the herd. You see? I was always a part of the herd. But I was that prodigal daughter that had gone off on my own on a journey. And it took a calf named Rowdy Girl to awaken me to who I really am. We are all a part of this herd, y'all. We all belong together to live with animals, to be with them, not to eat them. When we can finally see this truth, when we can finally go through that veil, I do believe that we will experience world peace. But we have to go through that veil. We can't be on the other side saying, oh, Earth Day, while we're eating a hamburger or a steak. It don't work that way. Environmentalists, if you're not vegan, you're doing it wrong. I don't mean that like being ugly or being condemning or anything like that or critical, because I don't ever mean to be. But you cannot be an environmentalist and eat meat, eat animal flesh. And the one that taught me that was Howard Lyman, a very dear friend of mine. I want to thank you, Morgan, for asking me to come and speak today. I want to thank my husband, Tommy Sonnen, who is a multi-generational cattle rancher, now vegan, who's back home holding down the fort. I want to thank all of you for following and supporting Rowdy Girl. Our documentary will be at Hot Docs this month and next month. We got chosen for a world premiere. The documentary Rowdy Girl. Yes. That is a blessing from God. Our story will now be told so that we can hopefully make an impact where it matters most. In the homes of cattle ranchers. In the homes of conservative Christians. Imagine that. Okay? It has to happen. So y'all, follow us on Instagram. Come get my card. Come get a button. I have a few left. Just whatever you do, go vegan for the animals. Go vegan for the animals. Peace out from Rowdy Girl and all of us. Thank you.